Kaya nunga yogas kulanga nurmut nijabal wadni buja. Welcome, hello and welcome men, women and children, relatives, families, friends to the Wadandi country. The journey that I've come on, and most Aboriginal people of my age and older, they've gone through all that time of not even being recognised as human beings in their own country. I was still flora and fauna.
Constitutional recognition is very important. It's starting a conversation, and an important conversation that all Australians need to have, one about truth and justice, and a lot of healing will come from it as well.
We've got the longest lasting culture here in Australia, and we've been put in that really unique position, and I think we're obligated to be able to recognise the first Australians and their contributions to our history.
If we're serious about creating a country we really want to be proud of, then we need to start unifying this, and it has to happen from the top.
This song is about my home.
It's absolutely wonderful to be down here today on Wadandi Noongar country to celebrate the Dunsborough Arts Festival. Reconciliation WA is really pleased to be partnered with the Dunsborough District's Progress Association and working to make this weekend happen.
Life is flowing there, like the tide.
They were interested in doing the campaign down in Dunsborough. I thought, hey, we've got this great festival, it's on the beach, there's great exposure and it's a beautiful time of the year, and we can bring in performers, musicians that are Noongar or Aboriginals from all over the place.
Reconciliation WA has really provided me an opportunity to learn more about the first Australians and where the gaps exist still for how we can help build better relationships between the first Australians and non-Indigenous Australians.
At the moment, our Constitution doesn't recognise our First Peoples and their long and rich connection to country and their culture, and to see that finally recognised in our Constitution is really important to me as an Aboriginal person, but all Australians should be proud of that too.
The Recognise campaign isn't only about recognising the history and the 60,000 years our first Australians have claimed to this wonderful country, but also realising that our Constitution still contains discriminatory clauses. From that standpoint, it's a no-brainer. We need to get rid of it, we need to change it.
Constitutional recognition is going to be one of the last steps in the reconciliation process for me. And I think that will be the beginning of something really different in this country, where we're treated as part of the community. And I think that's what lots of non-Indigenous Australians want, and I think that's what lots of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians want as well.
When you look at the document itself, the Constitution, it was formulated in the late 1800s and implemented, when Australia became federated in 1901. I guess people back then had a different point of view, a different outlook, and I don't think they share the same values as the Australians do today.
Tonight we're going to talk to you a little bit about reconciliation. We're going to talk to you about what this R means and why we all feel it's so important.
If we can go back to 1938, the 26th of January, while Australia was celebrating 150 years, William Ferguson, William Cooper and Jack Patton met in Sydney, and they put together a declaration asking for equal rights, the same as the white people. And we're undertaking a campaign of an awareness about why we see this as important.
Why does it matter? Well, you don't make progress by ignoring the identity of Aboriginal people. You make progress by embracing the identity of Aboriginal people.
And I think people will feel a bit freer to come and say, look, we're really proud to have the oldest culture in the world. And the other side will be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people saying, well, welcome aboard. We know you're not going anywhere, we've just got to get on in this country.
My family have been on this country, and I'm very proud of it, since the first days of the colony. So I can claim 6 generations of connection to this country, but it pales into insignificance compared to people like Jason, who can claim 2,000 generations. Their connection to this country is significant, it is unique, and this country needs to have the heart and the spirit to acknowledge that in the Constitution.
With both sides of Parliament on board, they're looking at 27th of May 2017. Now that's a fairly significant date because that celebrates 50 years since the 1967 referendum. If that does come to fruition, it presents a great opportunity to celebrate 2 major occasions for Indigenous people in this country.
It's not an obscure thing we're talking about here. If you respect in the community, you feel better about yourself and you look after yourself better. You're more likely to close those gaps in health and education and employment. Recognition is really a practical step towards bringing us together. It's going to do more, I think, to close the gap than almost any other thing we do.
With any national campaign and anything you're doing politically, there's always risks. If we're not out there doing our job and preparing and informing people, they won't know what they're voting for, therefore could vote no.
The political stumbling blocks are not in our parliaments. They're in the hearts and minds of every Australian that's going to have to vote, and we need them to say yes.
This is our generation's opportunity to change this country forever, and I think we've got to realise, you know, how lucky we are to have that opportunity to do it. And I think this is the generation that's going to do it.
I'm calling on you because you're just like me. I'm calling because God will set us free.
I just hope that people being exposed to different cultural activities and seeing that we're all people, it doesn't matter if they're black or white, as they say. If you're a musician or a performer or an artist, you give your heart to whatever it is that you do.
People are listening and learning more about constitutional recognition. It's a positive step and something concrete that we can work towards.
So we are all here to continue the tradition of the past and to celebrate the similarities of our differences in our cultures, to extend food and stories so that singing and dancing as we catch up with our friends and family. So please take a few minutes this evening to think about how lucky we are to live here. To Jenning Mule, look with your eyes, listen with your twonks, your ears, and feel your Kordajanga, your hearts and spirits, and take home your Katalonga new memories.